creating an effective corporate governance and sustainability framework and an opportunity to network with global professionals from various fields. The 19th London Global Convention, presented by the Institute of Directors, was a melting pot of innovation, leadership and global competitiveness.
Competition was the only thing which we felt is required to bring in best out of anyone.
The Global Convention was attended by eminent experts, leading industrialists and well-known speakers from India and around the world. Delegates from 26 countries participated, which included USA, UK, Denmark, Costa Rica, Nepal, Turkey, Sri Lanka, Maldives, UAE, Austria, Germany, Israel, Yemen, Canada, France.
Before I formally request General Ahluwalia, friends, we are all honored that with us is Mr. G.P. Hinduja, the eminent industrialist from UK who has just joined us. And I'd request you to please acknowledge the presence of the Mr. G.P. Hinduja.
The four-day convention kicked off with the Global Business Meet held at the House of Lords, focusing on navigating risks and opportunities and decoding new business paradigms.
We covered through Golden Peacock Awards 15 national corporate verticals, various areas, whether it is corporate governance, whether it is training, whether it is various aspects of this, in this quality, innovation, all aspects, there are 15 of them. So this is mainly to bring about a competition, bring out the best in everybody, bring out the best criteria, what it really should be and how one should really be looking at it.
IOD has really been very instrumental in enhancing the trade and investment between India and UK. Every year, what they do here is remarkable.
Artificial intelligence is a term we often hear that now organizations and industries are using more and more. The figures is astonishing, the potential. Yet at best, we are using 4%, 8% of whatever budget we want to allocate in this way of going forward with the term artificial intelligence. We in the United Arab Emirates, I'm very pleased to inform you that as of last month, our Crown Prince announced the establishment of Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed University of Artificial Intelligence. So education is also taking a very specific look at how they can produce experts for the future.
Public sectors were introduced in the late 1950s in India, just after independence, so as to have a investment into industry, which was not at that point possible from the private sector. So the main thing was that we introduced a lot of capital by the government, so that main industries where it was capital intensive. These companies created the industrial acumen that is required, and also it was used to develop backward areas. In fact, all the public sectors had developed their own townships. They have improved the lifestyles of those backward areas, and they have contributed to the corporate social responsibility, as we call it.
Fundamental concept of a business, of course, is to make money. But for us, there's also another focus, and that is to be a business for purpose. While making money is good, we need to be mindful and we need to address issues like climate change, poverty, inequality, gender disparity, and so many other issues. Companies listed on the S&P 500 in 1958, there were 27 companies. Today in 2017, there are only 12. So the lifespan of companies is getting shorter. And that reason why they're getting shorter is because of the disruption. The companies that don't think, don't plan, they cannot survive.
Madhya Pradesh is also doing very well in the new sunrise industries, especially the artificial intelligence. We are in touch with the topmost company in AI, which is basically located in Norway, to invest in a big way in high-tech, high energy consuming and state-of-the-art data center in Madhya Pradesh. We are providing them 500 acres of land to develop this data center, which will be used, which will be the largest in Asia. We must attract investments in Madhya Pradesh, where Madhya Pradesh can go on the route of industrialization. In fact, more than $6 billion US, that is almost like 40,000 crore rupees, have been invested in the last 10 months in Madhya Pradesh.
A board with directors who try and seek out different points of views, not agreeing to with what others are saying, is essentially one of the ingredients which makes a board more successful compared to other boards. The second point is the board as a whole has to be, instead of being an operational board, to be a strategic board which takes cognizance of the strategic aspects of business. That's the second imperative that a board has to have. If investments can actually come in some of these areas which have been liberalized by Government of India, a great service to the nation will be done.
We have certain demographic advantages which all of you know about. The youngest population in the country, in the world. Median age is only 28 years. We will add more working age citizens to the world than any other country between now and 2030. That's World Economic Forum forecast. We have a consumer spending of $1.5 trillion today as a country, and this is expected to rise to $6 trillion by 2030. It took us 60 years, India as a country, to reach $1 trillion GDP. 7 years for the next trillion. We are now sitting at about 2.7 trillion, and our Honorable PM, as all of you know, has set a target of 2025 to be 5 trillion, which some people would say is rather aggressive, but India has been known to do aggressive things in the past.
I find myself talking on behalf of Stacky Hearing Foundation, which is the biggest organization for this purpose. However, with a pinch of salt, with 1 million people globally across the world, we have helped. The problem is 450 million people, which means we are able to reach out to only 1 in 45. What we do is to find out the children or the adults who might be needing it, give them the adequate amplification. We also help them in the rehabilitation. But then comes the biggest challenge: how to reach out more, how to find out resources to reach out as many as possible.
The inaugural session with a lineup of global thinkers set the tone for the theme of the convention: boards, opportunities and challenges in corporate governance and sustainability.
When engaging with others internationally, we do not only represent DMCC or Dubai, we represent the government of the United Arab Emirates. With that comes immense responsibility, and it is imperative that corporate governance sits at the heart of everything that we do. In terms of sustainability, our relationship with the subject has evolved. We're now one of the very small number of free trade zones around the world that report on our social, environmental, and economic impact through our annual DMCC Sustainability Report. And we have also just launched our innovative, smart and sustainable district strategy, powered by 5G technology. This project will completely transform the lives of the 100,000 people who live and work in our community today.
There's a widening consensus that the duties of boards of directors exceed bottom line performance and a reporting mindset which is aimed at satisfying only the immediate financial interests of stock owners and other stakeholders. Increasingly, societies and our customers demand strategies that regard social and environmental issues as essentials, not nice-to-haves. Our report found that more and more businesses are waking up to the fact that there's a real shift in culture and practice is non-negotiable, and that they have to serve the public interest by effectively disclosing and managing risks, understanding liabilities, and exploring new ways to work in a changing economy that is decoupled from environmental degradation and recoupled to social benefit.
We face here the danger of irreversibility. I think it's incredibly important that business deal with all the other issues which we count as being sustainability and corporate responsibility. How we train our people, gender equality, the issues of inequality, all the other issues of local environmental pollution. But although it's important to get on with those, if we don't fix them in the next 10 years, we can fix them in the 10 years thereafter. There's nothing irreversible that says you have to fix it now. The point about climate change is, if we don't fix this within the next 30 years, we won't be able to fix it. A lot of the technologies have to be developed by business. A lot of the particular changes in practice have got to be put through by business. So we need all businesses to have plans for how they're going to be zero carbon by 2050, to think it through, to think through the technologies, to design what they're going to do.
All these greenhouse gases and the pollutions, etc., ultimately make our own life less livable, less good. And if the purpose of the business to produce goods and services is to make our life better, by doing something, if our life gets less better or worse off, then to that extent the business is actually not discharging its responsibility. The humanity and the society is now, and the governments are now very much conscious that this is the cost which has to be appropriated, which has to be assigned to the business, and this can be done in the form of carbon taxes, this can be done by putting very specific levies or otherwise, and there are various means to do it.
The change is pushing companies to be more transparent and accountable for their actions and open about engaging closely with stakeholders. The business excellence case for good governance and long-term sustainability is well established. While today's business environment provides a multitude of new challenges, it also has significant opportunities for those who can master the dynamics. Business now has to grapple with a new concept of values that move beyond mere focus on profit. Corporate directors need strong future orientation for sustained growth, market leadership, and social responsibility. The customers are the ultimate judge of quality and performance, and markets have truly globalized. Leadership, corporate governance, corporate social responsibility, and ethics are major defining characteristics of an organization for its long-term sustainability. Board leadership today is required to steer the organization to safer harbors and to new trajectories of growth.
The event also saw the release of the convention souvenir and Winners Digest on corporate governance and sustainability. ACC was a principal strategic partner. The platinum partners were Tea Board of India, Oil India and TriStar UAE, and the gold partners were World Gold Council, State Bank of India, Muthoot Microfin and Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Dubai Multi-Commodities Centre, DMCC, UAE was the global trade partner. This year the convention was represented by 3 leading states of India: Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. The 19th London Global Convention saw a plethora of engaging sessions that deliberated on the future of strategic boards. Starting from discussing board committees and getting their composition right by leaders from eminent conglomerates like Mahindra and Mahindra, Blue Star and JK Lakshmi Cement, to conversations on enhancing sustainability in the new business paradigm chaired by the CEO of Renewable Energy Association, Nina Skorupska. An invigorating all-women panel threw light on how gender parity on boards can drive change and boost effectiveness.
Having noticed some of the challenges in the marketplace, we realized we needed to think and act differently with our own senior women. And we needed to help prepare them differently for senior leader positions.
Followed by a high-profile panel consisting of policymakers and thinkers from across the world weighing global opportunities and challenges faced today. With businesses grappling with digital transformation, the session on debugging digital governance helped in paving the way for the future ahead.
We are looking at disruptive technologies, and we know who the disruptors are. The buzzword is blockchain. We have changed the DNA, the helix of blockchain, and taken it to the cloud chain. We are the first and the only one who are going to be launching this very soon, in a couple of months, from blockchain to cloud chain with a global omnibus patent.
I think there is a mismatch in the people who are controlling it and the companies who are running the show. This lack of digital governance worldwide has made business obsolete. Majority of blue-collar jobs lost and displaced. Coming to digital transformations of corporate governance, robotics, and transformation. This is already in place in many of the modern manufacturing arena and is creeping to other sectors. The area it impacts is employment, insurance, and most of all, precision engineering. This is subjected to country. In countries where the population is high with limited skill and education, then the whole success will depend on government proactiveness.
The evening called for celebration with a presentation of the famed Golden Peacock Awards with Dr. Graham Wilson.
We are here to celebrate the achievement of quite exceptional organisations and their leaders.
A celebrated author and commentator presiding as the Master of Ceremonies.
We have these prestigious awards for phenomenal organisations who are doing so much in the space of corporate governance, sustainability and responsibility. And I think it is fantastic to have so many of you friends who have travelled from across the globe to be here with us today, to join us on this remarkable conference.
We intended to be a new framework for testing the performance of gold mining companies to ensure that the price for gold in environmental and social terms is acceptable, and that the good that is done by gold in society balances that price.
Beginning the coveted ceremony, the recipient of the IOD Distinguished Fellowship for 2019 is Sir David Clementi, Chairman, BBC UK.
I'd like to thank the Institute of Directors India very much for this honour. And I have huge pleasure in accepting the fellowship of the Institute. I do so on behalf of the BBC. I'm pleased that the relationship between the BBC and India, a relationship which goes back 80 years, should be recognised in this way.
The next recipient for the IOD Distinguished Fellowship 2019 is Helen Brand, CEO of ACCA, the global body for professional accountants.
We're all here this evening because of the IOD's aspiration for strong and responsible corporate leadership. But it takes all of us together to make that a reality. And ACCA also takes its responsibility in this regard very seriously.
This year, the Golden Peacock Award for exemplary contribution towards social and cultural leadership goes to Shalu Jindal, Chairperson, JSPL Foundation.
From very early on in my life, I had a realization that it was important for me to use my privileged position to make a larger impact. My interest in education, the arts, culture and gender equality have led me to work in my personal capacity and with the JSPL Foundation to set up projects in the Indian states of Odisha, Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. I am extremely grateful for this honourable recognition for my social and cultural endeavours, This platform is an encouragement for me to go back to give more. Thank you.
Moving to organizational awards, the winner of the Golden Peacock Award for Excellence in Corporate Governance in the automobile sector is Mahindra & Mahindra from India. In the IT sector, the winner is Dell Inc. from the United States. In the consumer appliances sector, the award goes to Blue Star India. And in the oil production sector, the Golden Peacock goes to Mumbai-based Oil India Limited. Moving to the Golden Peacock Awards for Sustainability, the first sector is aerospace, and the winner is Bombardier Canada. In the electric equipment sector, the award goes to Osram, Germany. Finally, in the IT sector, the award goes to Cisco Systems, USA. A special commendation for sustainability is being awarded to TriStar from the United Arab Emirates. Another special commendation in corporate governance goes to Mudhut Microfin Limited from Kochi. The last days of the convention saw an informative and engaging study tour for the attendees at the University of Westminster on various facets of responsible leadership.
People that work at Westminster, mostly, but not entirely, have great core values that come for a real purpose. They're here to educate young people from an array of different backgrounds to transform lives, and we do it in the right way. And if it's not the right way, in Westminster you can shout about it and be a bit belligerent about it, and it's welcome. So being responsible and ethical, always doing the right thing, is clearly a shared value.
We have always been fans of innovation and fans of new invention. And in fact, the university, then Polytechnic, was the showcase for all technology really in the UK. And this is where it was brought to be shown off and demonstrated. It was really quite something.
The 2019 edition of the London Global Convention saw signing of two very important MOUs with the Institute of Directors, India. The first MOU was signed with the Renewable Energy Association, UK, and the second one with University of Westminster, ensuring their continued association and ending the conference on a high note.